Eevee is one of the most iconic Pokemon of all time. It's been really pushed since Gen 6 and it even got its own game. Despite it being arguably the third most iconic Pokemon, it's not even in Smash. Hi, I'm Zlippy-D, and today I'm going to make a Smash moveset for Eevee and its evolutions. For the jab, Eevee will use Tail Whip. He'll whip his tail to the left, then the right, and then Eevee will spin around and whip his tail again for the third hit. It acts like any 3-hit jab with the 2 small hits and a launcher. The forward tilt has Eevee leap forward and headbutt the enemy. It would be about as strong as Mewtwo's forward tilt and would make Eevee go a bit forward. It's pretty strong, but it'd have a lot of end lag. Eevee's up tilt would be a simple swoop up with Eevee's tail pointing up. It'd basically be Yoshi's up tilt that sends less far vertically and has a more stubby hitbox on the tip, but it's a bigger hitbox on the sides. It'd also be a multi-hit, where the first hit is the hitbox of Eevee retracting its tail and pointing it up, which would lead into the tip sweet spot of the second hit, which is the pointed up tail. It would be a decent combo tool that'd have some sour spot combo starter shenanigans as well. Eevee's down tilt would be your basic low percent downward sweep combo starter, like Mario or Mewtwo. It's just a basic tail sweep, so there's not much to talk about. For Eevee's forward smash, it'd be a standstill headbutt. It'd be about as strong as Ivysaur's forward smash and look very similar besides the vines. Basically just Ivysaur's forward smash, both Eevee in a smaller hitbox because Eevee is a smaller head than Ivysaur obviously. Eevee's up smash would be Eevee jumping up and scratching the air. Think Pit's up smash, but it'd be a lot less of a hitbox on the sides and send a lot farther up. Eevee's down smash would be like most swordy fighters' down smashes. Eevee's tail swoops from side to side, hitting in front of Eevee, then behind Eevee, and sending at a low angle like most sword fighters. Eevee's neutral air has Eevee face the camera and spin. It acts like Villager's neutral air, but it'd be smaller because it's just Eevee's head instead of Villager's whole body. For Eevee's forward air, Eevee thrusts its tail out with a sweet spot on the tip. Think Zelda's forward air, but with less damage and knockback on the sweet spot, but more damage and knockback on the sour spot. Eevee's up air would have Eevee point its tail up, hitting the enemy above. It acts like Yoshi's up air, but with a different hitbox because of the different tail shapes. Eevee's down air will be Eevee spinning around and pointing its tail down. It'd work like Roy or Dedede's down air, and it would spike at the tip. Eevee's back air would be like Pikachu's forward air, except for the back, but Eevee would use its tail instead of Pikachu's head. Eevee's grab would be identical to Duck Hunt's in terms of range and animation. The pummel would be Eevee biting its enemy. Eevee's forward throw would be identical to Duck Hunt's in every way. Eevee's up throw would be Eevee throwing the enemy fighter above its head. Then it'd jump up and headbutt it, sending it up a little bit so it could be a combo tool. Eevee's down throw would be Eevee placing the enemy fighter down, then rolling on top of them and launching him up a bit ahead of Eevee like Jigglypuff's down throw. Eevee's back throw would be Eevee throwing the enemy behind it and then kicking it back like an angry Tauros. It'd have pretty good damage and kill power as well. Eevee's neutral special is Evolve. When you use Neutral B, all the Eeveelutions will appear in a menu like Shulk's Monado Arts. Then you can select one and evolve into it. The evolution has no time limits, and each Eeveelution has their own strengths and weaknesses like Monado Arts, but they also have their very own side special, up special, and down special. You can devolve back to Eevee whenever you want, but there will be a 10-second cooldown where you can't evolve into another Eeveelution. I'll go over the Eeveelution's strengths and weaknesses now. When you evolve into Vaporeon, you heal 15%. The drawback is that you become as slippery as Luigi in Smash Bros. 64. Eevee's attack hitboxes also change with every evolution to fit their bodies obviously, which means Vaporeon gets a longer, smaller hitboxes. Jolteon gains a super fast movement speed, making it faster than Little Mac, but slower than Falcon, making it the 3rd fastest fighter in Ultimate. It gains a super fast fall speed, making it fall just as fast as Fox, but it loses a lot of damage and knockback as well as having a very small tail, making it a very combo heavy character. Flareon is the powerhouse of the evolutions. It gains a ton of extra damage and knockback, making it as strong as Pyra. The drawback is that it loses lots of ground and air speed, making it strong but sluggish. Espeon gains the power of super strong sweet spots. It gets really strong sweet spots on all its moves like Zelda's aerials, and it also gains a floaty double jump like Ness, Lucas, and Mewtwo. The drawback is that it becomes super light, and it's even lighter than Sheik. Umbreon gains a 50% damage and knockback resistance against projectiles, making it really good against projectile spammers. It does take 20% extra damage from physical attacks as a drawback though. Leafeon is the opposite of Umbreon. It gains a 20% resist to physical attacks, but takes 50% more damage and knockback from projectiles. Glaceon gets a 10% chance to get a critical hit on all its attacks like Hero Smash attacks. The trade-off is that if the attack doesn't crit, it's 10% weaker than normal. Sylveon has one huge change. All its moves become multi-hits. The forward smash would be like Link's forward smash, the forward air would be like Pikachu's forward air, the nair would be like Pit's nair, down air like Duck Hunt's nair, etc. This would give Sylveon a lot of mix-ups and drag-down combos, but also some consistency issues, as multi-hits aren't the most consistent attacks. The side special is a horizontal movement option. It changes with every Eeveelution, and if you deal enough damage with Eevee or one of its Eeveelution's special attacks, the side special will be replaced with one of Eevee's partner moves from Let's Go Eevee. Eevee's side special is Takedown. It's like a weaker version of Charizard's Flare Blitz that makes you take less recoil. The partner move is VV Volley. It takes twice as long to charge as the other Eeveelution's partner moves, but when you use it, it will lock on any enemy that Eevee is facing, and will deal even more damage than Flare Blitz with no recoil. Jolteon's side special is Spark. It's basically just Fox or Falco's side special, but yellow. The partner move is Buzzy Buzz. When the enemy gets hit by Buzzy Buzz, they'll get stunned like Pac-Man's belt. The higher the enemy's percent, the longer it stuns. Vaporeon's side special is Aqua Jet. This goes for all the side specials for the Eeveelutions, but they go as far as Fox's Light Dash. You can angle Aqua Jet almost like Pac-Man's side special, but it does put you in free fall. The partner move is Bouncy Bubble. If you hit Bouncy Bubble, you'll heal 50% of the damage you dealt, and you don't go into free fall. Flareon's side special is Flame Charge. It'd do a similar amount of damage as Falcon's side special, and if you miss it, you go into free fall. But if you hit it, you gain a speed boost for a couple seconds and don't go into free fall. The partner move is Sizzly Slide. If you hit Sizzly Slide on top of the speed boost, the enemy's attacks also get 50% weaker for 2 seconds to represent the burn. Espeon's side special is Teleport. It would work exactly like Zelda's up special, except it only goes a set distance in front of Espeon. The partner move is Glitzy Glow. If you hit Glitzy Glow, Espeon gets a shield. This shield blocks one projectile, making it do nothing. The shield disappears after 15 seconds if it does not block a projectile. Umbreon's side special is Foul Play. This side special makes Umbreon dash forward surrounded by dark energy and doesn't put you in free fall afterwards. When Umbreon is surrounded by this dark energy, any projectile will be reflected. The partner move is Batty Bad. It basically works the same as Espeon's partner move with a shield, but instead of blocking projectiles, it will make it so you block 3 physical attacks and will dissipate after 10 seconds. Leafeon's side special is Grassy Glide. When you use Grassy Glide, you dash forward, and after the dash, your falling speed is reduced greatly, to the point where you're almost gliding. The partner move is Sappy Seed. When you hit an enemy with Sappy Seed, you place a Leech Seed on them. This seed makes the enemy take 30% more damage and knockback, as well as stealing 1% of their HP over 5 seconds. Once the timer's up, the enemy's defense goes back to normal. Glaceon's side special is Ice Shard. Glaceon dashes forward with 3 hail chunks circling around it. If Glaceon doesn't hit anyone with the dash, the Ice Shards fly forward acting as projectiles. The partner move, Freezy Frost. This partner move makes it so the ice projectiles freeze any fighter in place for half a second. When they're frozen, they can't move or jump, but they can attack. Sylveon's side special is Play Rough. Sylveon dashes forward, and when Sylveon connects with an enemy, they get into a scrap. They're both stuck in place with the cartoon fighting effects, and they're both affected by gravity, meaning they both fall. so this means Sylveon could really cheese enemy fighters with bad recoveries. The up specials are a lot more simple with no charge gimmicks. Eevee's up special is last resort. A star platform will appear under Eevee, and after half a second it'll start rising. It's basically a platform that only you or your teammates can stand on, as it does hurt the enemy. But since it stays in place for a bit, the enemies could use it to recharge their recovery. Vaporeon's up special is Whirlpool. When you use Whirlpool, you'll start spinning, and then you'll get launched up. The Whirlpool lingers, and if an enemy falls into it, it'll act like a launch star, sending the enemy up. The enemy could use it to recover, or you could use it to get a nice early kill. Jolteon's up special is Thunder. Jolteon uses Thunder, sending electricity below. The electricity damages enemies and works like Robin's Lightning Beam Neutral Bee. And then Jolteon flies up, and it flies exactly as high as Sonic's up special. If you use it on the ground, the electricity splits, creating two weaker versions of the Thunder in both horizontal directions. Flareon's up special is Will-O-Wisp. It's basically just Piranha Plant's up special that goes less far. 3 purple flames circle a Flareon, and it acts just like Piranha Plant's recovery, where you deal damage on the side but can be hit on the top. Espeon's up special is Psychic. It would basically be Pit's up special from Brawl with some major differences. You float up by holding up special, and you'll slowly float up. But you float really quickly side to side, and there is a hitbox, so you could ram into the enemies at the blast zone and get an early edgeguard kill. Umbreon's up special is Dark Pulse. It will basically be Robin's up special, but with more weaker Dark Pulses instead of 2 green whatever they are. Leafeon's up special is Razor Leaf. It's basically a 1-to-1 of Donkey Kong's up special, except it goes twice as high. Glaceon's up special is Icy Wind. When you use the up special, after you input up special, you hold the direction you want to go, like Pikachu's up special. Then the Icy Wind will boost Glaceon, acting like a strong wind box, meaning it doesn't put you in free fall. Sylveon's up special is Misty Explosion. When you use Misty Explosion, you create, well, a Misty Explosion, which is basically just Hero's Magic Burst. You launch up from the explosion as high as Pit's up special, but there is one major drawback. You take 40% damage from using this attack. Another thing is that you can actually die from the blast zone, unlike all of their recoveries. The down specials are projectiles. For Eevee's down special, he'll use Swift. When you use Swift, Eevee will spawn 6 stars. After you place them, they'll stay stationary for 1 second before launching forward. While the stars are stationary, you can move, however. Vaporeon's down special is Aqua Ring. When you use Aqua Ring, Vaporeon will shoot a ring. The ring is affected by gravity. When it hits an opponent, it'll do nothing and just do damage. But if it falls onto the ground, it'll create an Aqua Ring, which looks like and has the same area as the heal field item. When enemies are in this field, the enemy will take 1% every half second, and Vaporeon will gain 1% every half second. Jolteon's down special is Thunderbolt. It's a long electric beam that deals damage depending on how much electricity you have stored up. Jolteon will have an electric charge meter. This meter is charged by how many attacks you hit. When you use Thunderbolt, it will use all the electric charges in the meter, and the power will be determined by how many charges you have. 5 or less is as strong as the fully uncharged basic charge shot. 5 out of 10 is about as strong as halfway through the charge shot. 10 to 15, that's as strong as a fully charged shot. Finally, 20 or more is as strong as Hero's Neutral Bee. Flareon's down special is Fire Blast. When you hold down B, you charge up a Fire Blast. It takes just as long to fully charge as Donkey Kong's Neutral Bee Punch. The power and size are determined by how long you charge it, and the Fire Blast is like a super strong, slow, big firewall that can 2-frame at ledge. Espeon's down special is Psyshock. Espeon shoots 6 psychic rocks forward. They will go at slightly different angles, and at one point the angles will meet up. If the enemy gets hit when they intersect, it'll do double damage and knock back. Umbreon's down special is Fling. Umbreon will save the last projectile that Eevee or its evolutions were hit by. Then Umbreon will use Fling and throw their projectile like Villager or Isabelle's neutral special. You lose the projectile you're holding when you get KO'd though. Leafeon's down special is Bullet Seed. It's a spammable projectile that shoots 2 to 5 seeds at random. It's not super strong, but not super weak either, and the first few seeds lead into the last seed that launches you. Glaceon's down special is Ice Ball. When you use Ice Ball, Glaceon will push an ice ball that starts as a small little snowball, but as it rolls becomes bigger and stronger just like a snowball. It is affected by gravity and can have its direction change if there's a steep enough slope, and if it falls, it shatters and breaks. Sylveon's down special is Moon Blast. This is a charge shot like, but it's a multi-hit, and when you charge it, it comes down from above you so you could use it like Pikachu's Thunder. When the opponent is hit by it, they will be hit by a bunch of multi-attacks before getting launched. This keeps them in place so you could combo out of the move, but the launcher is weaker than the charge shot. Eevee's final smash will use Eevee's signature Z move, Extreme Evo Boost. Though instead of Extreme Evo Boost, it's called Extreme Evo Blast. It's a cutscene final smash like Sora or Yoshi, etc. Eevee will dash forward like Yoshi's final smash, and if the enemy's hit, they'll be put into the Z move cutscene. Except instead of at the end, Eevee gets all its powers from the Eeveelutions, the Eeveelutions will give Eevee its powers, and Eevee will launch a rainbow laser at the enemy. At that point, the cutscene ends and launches the enemy away like all other cutscene final smashes. Eevee's dash attack is a copy and paste of Pikachu's dash attack. I don't know what you expected. The stats for each Eeveelution are on screen now. They all have 2 jumps and all have a bunch of different ground, air, and fall speeds. They also cannot wall jump, but they can crawl. The letters refer to the weight, ground, air speed, and fall speed respectively, and the numbers that they place for each stat in comparison to every fighter. For example, Eevee is the 78th fighter in terms of weight, with Bowser being number 1 and Pichu being number 89. The first costume is just the normal colors. The second costume are the shiny colors. The third costumes have Eevee match the colors of their type. The fourth costume has the Eevees match the colors of the other 9 types that aren't Eeveelution types. The fifth type has the colors match the other 10 Pokemon that are in Smash Bros. Besides Pichu, because it's just Pikachu colors. Costumes 6, 7, and 8 are just random colors because I am running out of themes. The up taunt is Eevee jumping around and playing. The left and right taunt is Eevee glowing like it's about to evolve, but then deciding to not to and cancel the evolution. The down taunt is Eevee growing into G-Max Eevee like Mario's old like growing big taunt. The first win animation is Eevee growing to G-Max Eevee, growing so big that it's out of frame, before knocking over the camera so you could see Eevee's face. The second win animation is Eevee and the Eeveelutions coming out of their Pokeballs. And the final win animation is Eevee constantly evolving, changing its shape, before devolving. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you're interested in knowing when new uploads are coming out or when I'm streaming or just want to hang out, join my Discord. I check it constantly and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Link in the description. So until next time.
Thank you.